Good evening, I'm Division Chief Ron Thomas, that's RON-THOMAS. Here to give a brief update on a critical incident that occurred here at about 5:45 at Colfax in Yosemite. What I understand at this time is that there was a call of an individual shooting rounds into a vehicle at about Colfax in Uinta. Officers arrived on scene within minutes and located an unoccupied vehicle that had multiple bullet defects in the vehicle. Witnesses on scene described a male suspect heading east from that location. Officers began searching the area and ultimately identified the suspect continuing east on Colfax, approaching Yosemite. The officers approached that individual from behind. As they approached, they could see that he had a weapon in a waistband area in the back. The officers approached, began issuing him commands. He refused those commands and ultimately threatened the officers with the weapon. Multiple officers fired, the suspect went down. Officers immediately began rendering aid until an ambulance could arrive and take that individual to the hospital where he's currently in critical condition.
Can you tell us if the suspect pointed his gun at the officers, or?
So there are several videos that we've found that are in the area, and so we'll get that information, but we understand that the suspect did threaten the officers with the weapon.
Was anyone else involved here at all on the roadway?
No, just the officers and the one individual.
Do you know how many officers fired their weapons and how many times?
I don't. I do know that there were multiple officers on scene and more than one officer did fire their weapon.
Was Aurora involved?
No, they were not.
Do you know who this individual is?
No, there's not anything that we know about him right now. We don't know what was going on at Colfax and Uinta that caused him to fire those shots into that vehicle at that location. So that a lot of that remains to be seen.
Was anybody hurt down there?
I don't believe so. We're certainly checking hospitals to see if there's any victims that have turned up in the hospital, but we don't believe that anyone was hurt down at that location.
Can you repeat the first part? We had interference at
sorry.
the beginning about what happened when you discovered the crime.
So the very first thing, so at about 5:30 is when we received a call of someone firing shots into a vehicle at Colfax in Uinta. Officers arrived at that location and found a vehicle that had multiple bullet defects in the vehicle. Witnesses on scene described a male suspect heading east on Colfax. The officers proceeded east on Colfax and ultimately encountered the suspect at about Colfax in Yosemite. He was on foot, yes.
Can you tell us more about that person, the age, how he's doing?
Again, critical condition, adult male, I believe it's Hispanic.
Do you have an age range?
20s.
20s? Which hospital?
I don't know at this time.
What comes next? What's the usual step that comes next?
So the next step is that we are now undergoing our critical incident protocol. All of the involved officers have been transported to headquarters where they will undergo interviews. The entire investigative process will be under the observation of the independent monitor, and then the results of that investigation will be turned over to the district attorney for their review.
Where did it happen? Is it here in the parking lot, or where?
So in the parking lot of that taco shop there, so just steps this side of Yosemite.
So you're confirming that is the car involved, the blue SUV?
No.
No.
So the police cars that you see parked there, those are the involved officers' cars. So the suspect was just in front of them.
Okay.
So the dark gray SUV is the police officer's car?
No.
Okay.
Okay. How long should this road be closed down for this investigation?
So this is a pretty significant investigation. So I would imagine the road will be closed down for quite a while we gather evidence and identify if there are other witnesses.
On my way here, I saw police presence on Colfax and Uinta. Is that related to this?
It is, because again, this whole thing began when we received a call of someone firing shots into a vehicle there at Colfax and Uinta. So that individual made his way down here and then encountered the officers down here.
So just to make sure that we understand it, that individual was firing shots while he was walking?
No, he apparently fired shots into a vehicle. That's what witnesses tell us at that location. And, excuse me?
He was in a car himself?
No, he was walking.
He was walking.
He was walking. The officers encountered him as he was walking.
And there's a white Mercedes up there. Do we know who's connected in there?
I don't.
Was this business open at the time that all this was going on?
The taco place?
Who's this? Tacos?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, okay. So, but no one else involved in this
No.
whatsoever.
Correct.
If anyone has information at all, I know obvious question, what should they do?
They should certainly contact us and provide us with that information that they may have.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
sir.
Sure.